All right, guys. It is really nice to be back. I know I haven't posted a video in a long time. If you're new around here, my name's Tyler. I go by Zany Online, and it's been like weeks since I posted a video, and I normally post like pretty much every day. Why have I not been posting? I've been getting work done, well, and gaming a lot, but the gaming is kind of relevant to what I'm doing because I'm making a game. Hopefully this project will be something that you guys actually are interested, because it's something I'm interested in. I've worked on game projects before in the past in Unity, Unreal, and to be honest, I've done a lot of projects, but I've been that kind of cautious person who wants to keep things definitely down to something that I can do realistically. And also, in that vein, I typically pick project ideas that are interesting to me, but because of me wanting to make something very simple, they're not things that I would actually play all the time. So, with this project, I'm trying to keep it definitely as something I can do, not trying to build out advanced systems, that are too, ambitious. Really, in all honesty, I'm just trying to keep, scope creep in mind with this project, but I want to make something that I'm actually interested in, I would enjoy playing all the time. So, it's a survival game. I love survival games like DayZ. These are fantastic games in my opinion. I absolutely love them, and I can spend hours playing them. So, let me go ahead and show you the game project as it stands right now, as I feel like there's actually enough to show off now where, you can give some feedback and actually be excited for it. Now, before I do go ahead and show it off, I do want to go ahead and say this project will be completely open source. You'll be able to get it from a GitLab repository. However, it's really early stages right now, so the GitLab is not up because I haven't put the time into making it yet and uploading everything. But after I demo this off, I will dive into some of the scripts and, not some of them, pretty much all of them. And so you'll be able to pause the screen and see what the scripts are doing. So just keep that in mind. So you can see the project here in Unity. We've got quite a bit going on UI-wise, but don't worry. It's fine. It's fine. It'll be fine. So here, as you can see, we actually have a game world. Now, we're shooting for that low poly aesthetic. Definitely not just because that's all I can do in Blender and get away with. So all of the models that you're seeing, except for the trees and bushes, because those are made inside of Unity's terrain editor itself, have been made by myself. Well, I mean, even the trees were made by me, but these, like the gun, the hand models, and the warehouse here, has all been modeled in Blender and by myself. And the grass textures down here are have obviously been painted by myself. You can kind of tell they're simplistic looking. Why? Because I'm not a talented artist. Let's just be honest. So we've got grass in here, which is epic. Yeah. But we have a basic environment started. Hopefully, eventually, we're going to get clouds up in the sky. We do have the basic groundwork put in so that we can implement a day and night cycle eventually. Pretty simplistically, if we go out here, you'll see we actually have water around our island. This is a big island. It hasn't been textured and filled out, obviously. So if we run over here, which I'll dive into the animations and everything, like all that stuff that's going on right now, and all the work that I've gotten done there. But it's a big island, pretty big, but not massive, not something that's, again, too out of my scope. You can cross the entire island in about 3 to 5 minutes, somewhere in there. Probably not 3 minutes. It's running probably going to cross the entire thing. Probably like, I don't know, maybe 4 minutes, something like that. But yeah, not too bad. Now, so for the idea of the game, before I go into exactly all the mechanics and all that, because I know this is going to be all over the place, but again, I've been mainly focusing on getting work done, not ironing out how I'm going to, pitch this idea to you guys. Because again, it's open source project. Doesn't really, I think the game will kind of speak for itself. I don't really need to convince you to try it or not, because I'm not trying to sell you on it. But the general idea is this is a single player game where it's kind of in the style of DayZ or Deadside, however, a little bit more casual, not very hardcore, but you're gonna have enemy AI that's kind of like a zombie AI, and then you're also gonna have survivor AI. So when you spawn in on the island, there's gonna be at all points a different amount of AI that are kind of like you. They spawn in with just a pistol like you do and some very basic items, and their goal is to get more various items or possibly hunt you down. They want to also get a base built. By the way, this game will have base building, but they want to get a base built, and then once they get a base built, they might decide to come raid your base if you have one, etc., etc. So that will come later on. And then further on down the line, I do eventually want to get a simple kind of multiplayer going, not something very complicated like DayZ or Deadside where you're on the same island and all that. I kind of want to get a really cool multiplayer where you can take items that you've gotten in your game and send it to another player's game where might come in as a cargo drop or something like that, and they have the chance to go pick it up. We could expand out down the line there, but not too worried about it right now. So what have I gotten done on the project so far? Well, we have a firing animation, so we can fire, and we have fire rate and everything. The gun script is completely customizable. We have hand IK for our actual hands. We have reloading animation. We can also aim down the sights, and that works just fine. We also have weapon swaying. And we have like a very simple kind of running animation here. Now, all of the animations, except for the actual slide going back, and obviously the magazine coming out here, pretty much all of these animations are done through the actual script, so they're procedural and easily changeable. I very, very much like that. And we can also switch our weapons, so we do have a nice little M4 here. And again, all of these models I did model myself. I'm decently proud of them, just because they don't look like utter garbage. I mean, they don't look incredible, but they definitely don't look like utter garbage. And so here we can fire. We have, if I press B, we can change our fire mode. And so now we are in full auto. And if we hold, we shoot. We have a basic recoil system set up, so you get less recoil when you're shooting, when you're aiming down the sights. Also, like when you do aim down sights, your speed is greatly reduced. So far, the player mechanics and such is coming along nicely. Next up on my list of things to do is kind of just get the inventory worked out, and also get, before I do start working on the inventory, my goal is to get some basic things for the inventory modeled and ready. We need to get some of the UI and everything, like the UI objects for items and the actual item models themselves, so that you can pick them up. All of that stuff needs to be made and done. And I'm also going to be reworking this UI down here to be in here. I kind of want to do something more along the lines of, if you play PUBG, excuse Buddy, he's just getting excited. I believe our mailman's here. But if you've played something like PUBG, I really like how it's all down in the middle of your screen. It doesn't actually distract you that like at all, and it's just right there, and there's a lot of information just right there in the center of your screen. I do like that. So hopefully you guys will too. If you have any recommendations on the look of AI, anything so far, definitely leave it in the comments below. And again, I'm spending a lot of time on this, so if you'd like to support the game and you're excited to get scripts and stuff like that and models from the game to use elsewhere, you can always go check out the Patreon link, because I'm not above shilling for myself. So now we've talked about the project. Let me show you some of the scripts. So if we go into I think what we'll do first is, I do want to go ahead and explain the kind of project's layout first so far. You can see the player has a lot of objects here. We're messing with a lot of transforms and positions and stuff. So there's a lot of different recoil. There's 3 different recoil positions, and not to mention the camera holder, and then underneath it's got the weapon sway points, as well as the gun hold point, the gun breathe point, and then it's actually got the weapons down here. There's a lot of stuff going on in our player, not to mention our ground check as well. All of this stuff. By nature, when you want to have a kind of full-featured player, this just with a lot of movement stuff going on, and you want to procedurally do it, this is kind of just what happens. But let me walk you through. We'll do the breathe script right now. So the gun breathe script is kind of simple, and I'll just show it off real quick. Why not? We have essentially, when we are breathing, because we do have an is enabled option, so we can turn it off if for any reason it's necessary. And so down in here, we take our start position, this little variable here, and we set it equal to the location or the local position of our gun breathe script here in Unity. And then our gun breathe start position is equal to gun breathe.run local position. So this is the separate one that we'll get to down here, right here. This is for essentially moving. It's to do the same thing that this start position's doing here, except it's for this sideways one right here, because we want to breathe up and sideways. Why? Well, it makes it look a little bit more natural, and that's how we achieve when we're running the side-to-side movement. And then we also set right here, we just want to get smaller values. It's just because we need them. Played around a lot with it to find that out. And then down here, again, we're just using sine waves and to achieve the effect. I really shouldn't go through this too much, but I think you get the idea if you understand moving local positions in Unity. Not too much going on there. And then I am kind of proud of how our gun scripts and everything are being written. If you go onto each gun is configurable out the wazoo. You not only can you configure the hand controller, which is a script that controls the IK. So if we go down here into our main character, which I'll go into my scene and double click on the main character, and you can see that is the arms. And down here we have like our targets and elbow targets for each arm. And so I essentially just have a like an animator rig set up So we can control the IK of the hands through this script right here. And so each gun, has its own hand controller. And inside of the gun here, the gun is a doozy of a script. It's pretty big, but it's out of necessity. Each gun has a lot of functionality. But I mean, I'll break down the shoot section here, as I think it's something that could look really complicated, but it's really not. When we fire, we're taking our recoil system .fire and playing it, and our recoil system up here. If we go up here and I show it to you, the recoil system, where is it? Recoil system right there. And so it's just a reference to the recoil system on the whatever object the gun script is on. And then our cam recoil system .fire, which is again just a different recoil system, but it's for the camera, because when we do the kickback and everything, we also want our head to move back as well, but just not as much as the gun. It creates this natural kind of movement. And ready to shoot is equal to false, because when we're shooting, we're shooting. We're not ready to shoot yet. And then our muzzle flash plays, which is just a little particle system. And then we get the animator component on, did not mean to do that, on this object. And we tell it to play the fire animation. And we also get the clip for the fire to, like, the sound effect for the shot. We set it to this clip variable here inside of our audio source, and we get it by choosing a random clip from an array of clips, and we do a random range of 0 to the length of the array. And so we'll get a random value from there, and then we play it from the audio source. And then down here, we have amplify spread when we're moving. So the gun actually has spread. So when you're firing, based off of your movement, you'll get more spread. Whether you're aiming, you'll get even less spread. And so that second part there hasn't been set up yet, but that doesn't really matter. Anyway, when your player's velocity is above a very, very small number, then we want to take spread and set it equal to max spread. And then down here we get a random range in between spread and spread. So, pretty simple. Not too crazy. And then vector 3 direction right here. The direction that we're going to go, like the raycast is going to go out in, which is how we're detecting whether or not you hit someone right now. The direction is equal to the camera's forward direction. And then the raycast for hit detection. So we actually detect whether or not we hit anything. So we shoot out a raycast from the direction, and we get, we put the ray hits, information into a value called ray hit, and we allow it to go this far, which is our range that we set for the weapon. And we also can tell it what the raycast can hit, because some things we don't want the raycast hitting. Like, we don't want our raycast hitting our player's model or the gun model right in front of the player. And then we also, right here, I'm just debugging.logging, so we can see, like, as you can see, we were shooting before, and so we've got a whole bunch of debug.logs inside of Unity here for the terrain, as that's what we were hitting. And then if we hit an enemy, then we're going to call a take damage thing on the enemy, which is something that I have set up that we're not using yet, and because I haven't gotten any of the enemy stuff done yet, just being honest. And then we take bullets left, minus it, and we also take bullet shot and minus it. And then we invoke reset shot or shoot after fire rate. And because we want to be able to shoot again, depending on what the fire rate is. And then if bullet shot is greater than 0 and bullets left is greater than 0, invoke shoot in time between shots. So essentially, this is just for like burst fire weapons here. Won't go too deep into it. I think if we go through the script here, I'm just going to scroll through it so that you can have a chance to pause your screen and look through the script yourself, just in case you want to. And I know myself, I'm lazy, so you might not get a chance to download it for a while. So just want to show it off. All of our different scripts here, we don't have an absolute ton of scripts in the game. Let me just go ahead and make this full screen and we'll zoom in just a bit. Why not? Just in case you want to take a look over anything in here, you can. I know this is going to be a long video, but to me, I think that is more than fine. I do want your guys' opinion on the project, and I don't want this to be a short devlog where I just kind of pimp out the project to you. I do kind of want you guys to see the scripts, see what I'm doing. If you think that there's something I could be doing better, let me know, And obviously, I'm not doing this on Linux, but you'll be able to get it on Linux. We'll go down here and check out the recoil script, as I'm sure a lot of you will be interested. And as you can see, I'm doing a pretty good job of commenting out when I'm just pretty much taking someone else's code and slightly changing it. But there's a guy on YouTube called Minoy, and he has this recoil script, and it's really good. I changed some things about it. In my opinion, I think this is better and probably just more how it should be done, and also obviously changed a little bit to make it relevant to the project so that we're checking because our game manager can tell kind of what state our player is in pretty much at all times. So it knows different variables that it needs to know about the player, like whether or not you're aiming, whether or not you're in the menu, whether or not you're crouching, etc. And depending on whether or not we're aiming, we get different recoil values here. And you can see kind of the math for it. I won't completely explain it, as, again, this is not a tutorial. It's just kind of a showing off and hopefully helping someone out there who is interested in game development or interested in checking out this project and potentially providing help down the line. If that's kind of what you're interested in, I want you to at least, see the foundations of the project. And yeah, hopefully you've enjoyed this video. Hopefully you've enjoyed just kind of checking out the basic, game. Maybe you like it. Maybe you think, oh, that's interesting and really neato. If you do, let me know what you think. Just give me honest feedback. And if you want to support me in spending an egregious amount of my time working on this project, please check out my Patreon link. Very much helps. And yeah, I look forward to seeing you guys in some more videos, because I'm going to do that, actually. And the game's also going to get developed live from now on. I'm going to start doing it live every day. So hopefully you enjoy. I'll see you guys. Bye.